Most of the women I work with come to me for weight loss, but weight is never the real problem. It's always the symptom, and the real problem, the one that's driving everything underneath, has been building for years. While every diet addressed exactly the opposite of what the actual cause would be. So basically everything but that. Today, I'm going to show you 5 signs that what's happening in your body goes far deeper than just a calorie problem or a calorie number. You've been dismissed, told it's your age, told to eat less and try harder. Meanwhile, your body keeps giving you signals that the weight that doesn't shift, that digestion that makes no sense, or cravings that feel like compulsions and give you that feeling that you're out of control. There's probably fatigue, and coffee won't fix it. You've been probably treating this as all separate problems or accepting them as inevitable. They're not separate and they're not inevitable. They are a pattern. I'm Valeria Lopez. I'm a licensed nutritionist with 25 years of experience specializing in weight loss for women over 40. Working with thousands of clients, I've learned that the skill that makes the biggest difference isn't knowing what to prescribe, it's recognizing that pattern. Symptoms don't lie. When you know what to look for, they point directly to the cause, and the solution becomes clearer. I'm going to walk you through 5 signs, and for each one, I'll tell you what it's actually signaling biologically and why every diet you've tried without addressing it has been leaving you worse off. So the first sign is what brings all the women my way. You're gaining weight despite eating the same or less, and it's been creeping for years. What this means is you haven't changed what you eat. And if anything, you eat less than you did 5 years ago. Yet the scale keeps going up. Slowly, steadily, regardless of whatever effort you're doing. You've cut things out, added things in, tried different approaches and supplements, and nothing shifted for long. The results are so slow sometimes that the women that I see lose their motivation and the weight always comes back. What it's actually signaling, again, this is not a calorie problem, it's a bacterial imbalance. Those inflammatory weight gain bacteria that I always talk about, they have multiplied over the years of dieting, stress, and hormonal shifts, and are now extracting extra calories from the food that you eat. Okay? So your body used to process that differently before. The longer this has been happening, the more entrenched that imbalance has become. And a body that has been in this state for 2 or more years has layers of that disruption. Gut lining damage, reduced microbiome diversity, hormonal adaptation to whatever it is that you're living. And that is not going to be fixed by any diet, because diets address intake. The problem is about extraction and bacterial dominance. So cutting calories farther doesn't really displace those weight gain bacteria. It most likely starves the good ones, making the environment even worse and more friendly to the bad guys, okay? So if the weight has been creeping for years, regardless of your efforts, you don't have a discipline problem. You have an entrenched biological imbalance, and it needs to be addressed at that level. And the body rarely sends just one signal. The second sign that I'm gonna talk to you about is one that most women have been tolerating for so long that they have stopped noticing it. And that is unpredictable digestion. Think bloating, constipation, diarrhea, reflux, all of it rotating through. What this looks like is like some days you're bloated before you even started or finished eating. Other days you're just constipated for 3 days. Then you're urgent the next day. Reflux appears and disappears without an obvious cause, and there's discomfort after a meal. And all of it seems unrelated to what you eat. You've tried eliminating foods, probably, eating smaller portions, taking probiotics. Nothing seems to really resolve it in a consistent way. And what this is actually signaling, like that unpredictable rotating symptoms, is that the body is probably the body's clearest sign that the microbiome is out of balance. The different symptoms correspond to different aspects of that imbalance. Bloating points to bacterial fermentation in the wrong location. Constipation points to motility and microbiome issues. Reflux is going to tell us something about your upper digestive environment. So the fact that they rotate rather than follow a clear pattern itself, that is actually very meaningful. It indicates systemic dysbiosis rather than a single food intolerance. Maybe you've been cutting out foods or food groups. Most dietary approaches for digestion focus on elimination, removing trigger foods. This manages symptoms temporarily, and I can use this approach myself sometimes, but it depends on the patient's specific evaluation. This needs to be a part of a sequence of steps, okay? It can start there, but it can't go forever, because it's not addressing the bacterial environment that is causing them. So women with this pattern often eliminate more and more foods over time, and they narrow their diet so much that they don't know what to eat anymore. But that reduces microbiome diversity even further, and it's deepening that imbalance. And the symptom relief stays kind of yes and no, right? Like it's partial and it's temporary. So again, rotative digestive symptoms aren't always a food sensitivity problem. They are a bacterial environment problem. And the elimination diet making you feel slightly better is going to make the root cause worse in the long run. Okay? Now, digestive symptoms show up in the gut, right? The sign number 3 shows up in your brain. And it's one that most women are ashamed of, I would say. If you're recognizing yourself in these signs so far and you want to understand the biological mechanism driving all of them, hit subscribe now, because I share weekly videos where I go deeper on the root cause and showing you exactly what to do about it. Subscribe now so you don't miss the next. Okay? All right, let's go into sign number 3. And yes, it's of course cravings. You know when your cravings feel desperate, not optional, especially for sugar or carbs, even if it's not sweet flavors. And that can happen within an hour after eating. So this would look like basically you finish your meal and within 45 minutes, you need something sweet or crunchy, or like a cracker or something with carbs. Or you wake up already thinking about food. Or I've heard this too, you make it up to 3 p.m. and then completely lose control around whatever is in the kitchen or the coffee break room at the office. That's a very dangerous place. And it doesn't feel like preference, it feels like a compulsion. And the guilt that follows that makes you feel like the problem is in your character and not in your biology. Here's what this is actually telling you. Urgent compulsive cravings, especially when they occur shortly after eating, are bacterial signaling, not true hunger. The microbes in your gut communicate with your brain through the gut-brain axis, and that's called the enteric nervous system. And they send signals specifically designed to make you crave the foods that they need to survive, that they like to eat. And that's usually sugar and refined carbohydrates, depending on the type of microbes that you have in your gut. The urgency you feel isn't you lacking willpower, it's bacteria manipulating neurotransmitters to feed themselves. When clients rebalance their gut bacteria, these cravings disappear within 7 to 10 days. Doesn't take too long. And not because they got magically more disciplined, but because the signals have stopped. So a diet won't fix it, because diets treat cravings as a motivation problem and respond with restriction and substitution. So if you crave this, eat that, basically, right? Or a willpower strategy, which this is not. None of these change the bacterial environment sending the signals. This is why cravings always return and why they feel stronger after a period of restriction. I'm sure that you have experienced that before. If your cravings feel like a compulsion rather than a preference, this is not a character flaw. This is your gut bacteria talking directly to your brain and asking you to feed them what they want to eat. So the solution is not more willpower, it's changing who's speaking, okay? So we need to give the microphone to you instead, basically. Now, cravings affect what you eat. The fourth sign that I'm going to talk to you about affects everything else, your energy, your sleep, your mood, all at once, at the same time. So here's what I'm talking about. Your energy, sleep, and mood are all unstable at the same time. What this looks like is you wake up exhausted even after a full night's sleep. Your mood is unpredictable. You snap at people you love. Think husband, kids, no? People at work. You also maybe feel low, like for no reason, right? Maybe sad for no reason. And you have days where everything feels harder than it should be. Afternoon crashes, you lie awake at 2 a.m., even when you're tired, and you're running on coffee and pushing through, and when someone suggests stress or hormones, you agree, because what else could it be, right? What these signs are actually signaling and telling you is this: energy, sleep, and mood destabilizing simultaneously, not separately, but all together, indicates a hormonal cascade driven by a gut imbalance, because your gut bacteria produce a significant portion of your serotonin and GABA. And by significant, I mean 90% of serotonin, okay? So that's significant. These are the neurotransmitters that regulate mood and calm the nervous system. When the microbiome is disrupted, neurotransmitter production drops. Disrupted gut bacteria also impair the regulation of cortisol along the day, which directly will affect both sleep quality and energy production. And the estrogen disruption from gut hormone imbalance throws off progesterone. And progesterone is the calming, sleep-supporting hormone that is the first one to decline in perimenopause. Quite a mess, right? Now, all of it, is not 3 separate problems. They are one root cause with 3 expressions, basically. So if you go on another diet and it doesn't work, it's because most approaches address each symptom separately. Sleep supplements for sleep disturbances, adaptogens for stress, maybe an antidepressant for mood regulation. And this treats the outputs without touching the source. Until the gut hormone environment is addressed, the cycle of these symptoms is going to be back, regardless of what's layered on top. Fatigue, disrupted sleep, mood instability occurring all together at the same time is not 3 separate problems, okay? So they don't need 3 separate solutions. That's the meds approach, 1 pill for each thing. This is one root cause, so it has 3 phases or signs, okay? And the root is in your gut. Now, last but not least, sign number 5 is one that I find really important to name, because it's the sign that every period, like previous failed attempt, has left a mark in your biology. So you've tried everything, and each attempt has left you feeling worse than before. What this means is that you've done intermittent fasting, low carb, calorie counting, cleanses, shakes instead of meals, Weight Watchers maybe, GLP-1 medication, carnivore diet, you name it, all kinds of stuff. Some of them worked briefly. Most of them didn't. And if you're honest, each time you came off one of those plans, the weight came back faster. The cravings were stronger. And your digestion was probably worse than when you started. You started to wonder if you have permanently changed or damaged something. I'll say it as it is, because I am very forward, as if you haven't noticed so far. Didn't you feel like, well, I kind of knew it would be this way? Like an expected failure, because you are probably based on all those other experiences that didn't work. That's why it's so hard to believe that sometimes something can actually change for good, and in a good way, right? Something that won't make it worse in the long run. What this is actually signaling is that you have damaged something, yes, but not in the way that you think. And it's reversible. So every crash diet, extreme restriction, elimination protocol, yes, it reduces microbiome diversity. is what happens. The gut microbiome needs a wide variety of foods to maintain a wide variety of bacterial and other microbes species in it. So repeated cycles of restriction narrow that diversity progressively along the years, let alone all those diet products that we don't even know what they are. Okay? So each failed attempt doesn't just return you to baseline, it leaves the microbiome a little bit more depleted, okay? And more dominated by inflammatory microbes, which makes it less capable of responding to the next intervention. So whatever it is that you're going to try next. This is why the pattern feels like diminishing results, because biologically it is. So if you go on another diet, that probably won't work, because the solution to a depleted, narrowed microbiome is not another elimination. It's building or rebuilding that diversity through the right foods in the right sequence. This is where steps are very important. This needs to be progressive and consistently enough for the good bacteria to repopulate and hold. Okay? Every diet that didn't work didn't just fail. It left your microbiome narrower and like more depleted and poorer in quality and diversity. And the more depleted than before that it is, this is why each attempt feels harder. Okay? And it's also why the next thing you try needs to be fundamentally different. I talked about my client Natasha before. She came to me after 2 weeks on a juice cleanse. That was the most extreme restriction she'd ever attempted to lose weight. But instead of losing weight, she gained 2 kilograms on that cleanse. Her microbiome was so depleted, it couldn't respond normally to anything anymore. So the mechanism that should have triggered weight loss had stopped functioning. When we rebuilt her microbiome from the ground up, right foods, right sequence, and the right progression, she lost 4 kilograms in the first week, okay? And continued to lose weight up to almost 20 kilograms. The body hadn't given up. It was waiting for the right conditions to thrive. So that's why I want to emphasize that what we're trying to do here is support your body with what it really needs rather than more restriction, okay? Now, I want you to do a self-check right now. Your body is not randomly malfunctioning. Everything you've been experiencing, the weight that won't move, the digestion that makes no sense, the cravings out of control, exhaustion, the way each diet leaves you feeling worse is a pattern, and that pattern is pointing somewhere specific. So go back through these 5 signs that I talked about, and if you recognize yourself in 3 or more, the weight creep, unpredictable digestion, compulsive cravings, energy, sleep, mood instability, the diminishing returns on every attempt, then it means that your body is not asking you for another diet or restriction, it's asking you for something that actually addresses what's driving all of it at the root. And that is not bad news, by the way. It's the clearest possible signal that there is a real cause, and real causes have real solutions. So this is a good thing, okay? Even if it doesn't feel that way right now. So if you recognize yourself in 3 or more of these, the next step is understanding exactly what's driving them and what actually works. I made a video breaking down 5 truths I wish every woman over 40 knew about weight loss. It's based on my many years, 25 years of experience and over thousands of clients. And it explains why nothing has worked and what changes once you understand what's really happening in your body. Okay? Exactly as it is today. Not as it should be, not as it was in your 30s. That video should be linked somewhere around here on the screen right now. So go watch that next. And I want to thank you for staying this long with me. Thank you for your interest, and I really hope it helps. See you there.